Hi YouTube, and welcome to another video. Thank you for joining me today. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Go ahead and like the video. Thank you for joining me today. If you're not subscribed to this channel, go ahead and subscribe. We will get right to the word of the Lord. The word of the Lord today is coming from Genesis chapter 1, verses 1 through 5. And it says, "In the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Then God said, 'Let there be light,' and there was light. And God saw that the light, that it was good, and God divided the light from the darkness. God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. So evening and morning were the first day." Thank you for joining me for the word of the Lord. Go ahead and like the video. Today we're going to make our bag, make a tote bag. And this video is probably going to be the cutting of the tote bag. And then the next video will be the sewing of the tote bag. So let's get down. Let me put you down. All right. So I have my big ruler. This is the ruler that I use to cut all my bags. This ruler is called, it's a Creative Grid, and it's a 16.5 by 16.5. So all my large bags start cut size at 16.5, 16.5. If you don't have a ruler this big, you can get a ruler, and then you can like maybe get a pen or something, and you can mark out what size you want. But this one is 16.5 by 16.5. And this is some fusible fleece. Okay, let me show you what this fusible fleece is looking like. This is a really big roll. This is a big roll of fusible fleece that I get at Walmart because this is heavyweight. At Joann's, they don't sell the heavyweight anymore. They used to, but not anymore. Only place I can find the heavyweight is at Walmart. So I get it at Walmart. So I rolled out a bunch of it because my mat is kind of small and I'm not in where my big ruler is. And so let me get my rotary cutter. I'm still a little under the weather. Okay, I got my, here it is. Here's my rotary cutter. So I'm going to take, since I folded this in half because it's wider, so what I did was I folded it in half, and you have to make sure that it's even. Since it's not even, I'm going to go over a little bit because it's not even over here. So I'm just going to go over a little bit until I make sure that I have enough to cut two pieces that are equal. So I'm going to cut out two of these fusible fleece pieces that are 16.5 by 16.5. I'm going to cut out, everything's going to be cut out at 16.5 by 16.5. My lining, my bag fronts, and my interfacing. And then my handles are going to be cut at 2.5, and then I'm going to use this to cut 2.5-inch strips for my for the handles. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Probably need a better rotary cutter, but it's got to make do because I don't know where my other one is right now. I did bring my scissors in here. Let's see, let me stand up. Maybe standing up will give me a little bit more pressure. I have a bigger rotary cutter. And then I'm going to cut this side. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my mat around. Not going to move anything. I'm just going to turn my mat. And then I'm going to cut the other side. Because I am right-handed. Okay. So now I got that cut. Let's see, where's my trash? The trash is over there. So now it's not even, if you can see that. It's not even. So now I'm going to pull this up to the top to make them even. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do that again. Since these two pieces are even and I'm right-handed, I'm just going to put my ruler back on top and I am going to cut it again. So now I have my now I have two pieces for my bag. Now I want to cut the, now usually this, I will use this piece right here that's got left over for my smaller bags, because this piece measures about 13 3/8 by 15 by about 16. So I can use that for something. And then, so now I'm going to take this back and I am going to cut some handles for my bag. So hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hopefully you guys feel better than I do. I've been a little under the weather, but God is good, and I know I'll be feeling better soon. I'm gonna get a smaller ruler for that. I'm gonna use this ruler, and this is the same ruler we use to make the quilt. And so this one, I'm going to cut these handle sizes at 2.5 inches. So let's see, I'm going to cut a little bit more because it's not even, so I'm going to cut a little bit more, and then I'm going to turn it around and cut my 2.5 off of it. This ruler recutter, I need a sharper blade, but we're going to make it work. Okay. Right, so now I'm just going to turn this around and I'm going to get it to 2.5. I'm going to get my scissors. Cut this other piece off. So let's see, we're just gonna use the scissors to cut off the other half. And it was folded under there a little bit, so it looks like we might got a little bit extra, but I'll just cut that off when I go to press it onto the strap. And you need well, let's see. If you want a long handle, you can cut 2 of these, and then you can cut 4 strips for your handles. But if you want a short handle or a shorter handle, which would be about, let's see, this will be about, when you cut it and sew it a little bit, probably it will be about 21 inches for the bag. But you can see what it looks like when we sew the bag, and then you can determine if you want smaller or longer. For now, I'm just going to do the one. You only need 1 piece of lining for the handle, but you will need 2 pieces of fabric, because the fabric will go on both sides, and you'll see what that looks like when we get to that part. So now we've cut our interfacing. So now we're going to cut our fabric. And the fabric that people liked when I did my Joann's haul, they liked it, the rose fabric. and the dragonfly. So I'm going to take the rose and the dragonfly fabric, and I'm going to do both of those. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to just fold up my fabric onto my mat. And this is the same thing that I did for the batting. You might have couldn't see it that good, but I just folded it in half. It was really big, so I had to unroll some of it. And let's see. And I'm just going to put this one on top of it too. Fold them both in half. And I'm just going to put them on top of each other. All right. And then I am going to take my rotary cutter, and I am going to do the same thing. I am going to take my big ruler, and I am going to cut. Okay. I really need a new blade in here. All right, and because I don't want to, I'm just going to turn it around because I don't want to go on the opposite side of the camera. So I'm just going to turn it around. Remember, this is 16.5 by 16.5. You can make it smaller or you can make it bigger. It's up to you. I'm going to have my trash over here. So now I'm going to unfold my two pieces. And we can see that it's not even. We have this one way down here and this one way up here. Because that piece is mostly salvage, I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to make sure that I go over enough to get my pieces even. Let's see what this one looks like. And this one, I'm just going to put it over. I'm not going to fold these ones because this mat is big enough to do it this way. So I'm going to put my mat back on there. I'm going to make sure that I am over enough so that I'm not getting the salvages, and that I have enough for the pink fabric because it had a big salvage, and I want to make sure that I don't get any of it. All right, and then I am going to cut this fabric. And I'm going to throw that in my trash over there. And then I'm going to turn my mat around. And then I am going to cut that part. I'm going to save this for another project. And then I have these two. So I have the dragonflies on that side, and I have the roses on the other. So, and plus I already had some interfacings cut out in my room in there. So now we need to cut our handles for the bag. We need 2 handles per bag. So I am going to 2.5 inches, just like I cut the interfacing. I'm going to cut these 2.5 inches. Let's see, and 2.5. Okay, so now we have that. So this will be a set of handles, and this will be a set of handles. And then what we need to do next to prepare to sew is we are going to cut out our notches for the bags. So let's see, where did it go? Oh, here it is, and here it is. So I have a pencil, and then I have this that I cut out on my Glowforge, but before I had a Glowforge, I used to just cut this out of cardboard. Just cereal box, cardboard, or whatever. Now you can turn your fabric over on the other side, or you can do it on this side. It doesn't matter. Since this fabric is lighter, I'm just going to do it on this side. Now I'm going to do it through both. So I just take it and I put this in the corner. I'm putting it all the way in the corner. Let's see. And if your fabric is directional, make sure you put it in the right. I don't think this fabric is it directional? Yeah, maybe the dragonflies are directional. Let me make sure it's directional. Let's see. I think they're going both ways, so yeah, I don't think it really matters. So I'm just going to put this back on top. But if your fabric is directional, you want to make sure that you cut your notches out in the right orientation. Because if you don't, then your bags, one of your panels is going to be upside down, and you don't want that. So let's see. I think these roses look like. Let's see. The roses, they don't look directional, but I don't know. They look like they're kind of going in all kind of directions, so we'll just go for it. So I'm just going to put them back down and line them up perfectly. And then what we're going to do is we are going to, okay, that's not even. We got to get it even. We are going to put this in the corner, like I said, put it over in the corner. And then you're going to just trace around it. Trace around it. And then same thing over here. Just put it in the corner. Trace around it. And this square piece is 2.5 inches. Now when we sew this gusset is going to, whatever you make your gusset, it's going to be double. So this is 2.5 inches to start with. So this is going to be 5 inches when I sew it. The gusset should be 5 inches. All right, so I'm just going to put a pin in it so it doesn't shift when I go to cut it. And I'm just going to cut it with some scissors. If you have a small enough rotary cutter, you can cut it with a rotary cutter, but I'm just going to cut it with some scissors. All right, I think the one on the bottom is like, let's see, I think I'm going to cut this some more. Looks like our rose fabric is kind of like a little bit bigger, so I'm going to trim a little bit off of there because I want them to be even since I'm going to cut them at the same time. So I'm just going to trim that up and then turn it back over and put my pin in it. And then I'm just going to cut that out with my scissors. Here are my scissors. So I'm just going to cut it out with the scissors. There we go. Cut that one. Cut that one out with the scissors. And I'm just cutting on the line that I drew with the pin. So I cut that out. So now we have that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to cut out that for our for our interfacing. I'm going to cut out that for our interfacing. Let's see, this interfacing is, so I'm just going to take my pin. Okay, what did I do with my little? Okay, well, don't know what I did with my little, what you call it? So I'm just going to do it with the ruler. And it is 2.5. It is 2.5. 2.5. I need to find it. There we go. This video is all over the place because here it is, because I am not feeling super well today. Sorry, guys. So here we go. I found my little 2.5-inch marker, and you can just, and that's why I used to do it with the cardboard box, because it's easier to do it with the little piece than to do it with the ruler. So I used to just make myself a cardboard box, but once I got the Glowforge, I can cut my own little template. And I use this template for the big bags. The little bags, I use a 2-inch. I do 2 inches. And the little bags are done the same way. You cut out all the same thing. And you can do 2.5 inches for the handles for the little bags, or you could do 2. It's up to you. I like 2.5-inch size. So I'm just going to cut that out. Cut that out. All right, so we got that cut out. Now we need to do it one more time for our other bag. All right. And we'll just mark our fabric. Mark our fabric. Mark it. And then we'll cut. I'm not going to even put the pins in this time. I'm just going to cut it. I've done this enough. You are under the weather, boy, I tell you. All right. So now we have that. These you can throw away, or if you have a purpose for them, you can reuse them for a different purpose. So now what we want to do is we want to take our iron and an ironing mat or an ironing board if you have it. Excuse me. So I have my iron, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my, did I only cut one? Oh, I think I only cut one for my, I'll cut another one off camera for my, for the handle. So what you're going to take your, this is fusible on just one side. So you're going to take your, put the wrong side of your fabric on the rough side of the fusible interfacing. And then you're just going to press it. on yet. It's one of those irons that just kind of comes on and off. But you gotta let it heat up once you don't use it for a while. So I gotta let it heat up a little bit. So we're just gonna press all of these down to their respective interfacings, and then we'll be ready to sew. There it is now. All right. So then we will go ahead and do that. And then we will go ahead and do that. And you only need to do this to one of the handles. You only need to put the fusible on one of the handles per bag. And the reason why you only put it on one handle per bag, because when you get ready to make the handles, you're going to take your other handle and you're going to put this here, and then you're going to sew on both sides and turn it inside out. But we'll do that in the next video. But you only need the fusible on one handle, on one piece of the fabric. So then we're going to take and do the same thing to our interfacing in our bag front. Sometimes if your interfacing is way bigger, then you can just trim some of it off. I needed my bigger rotary cutter. I'm just pressing it to that, and then I'll take the other one and I'll press it as well, and I'm pressing it on the rough side. This is single-sided fusible. I'll just smooth it onto my interfacing. And I just press it down. So now we have that part, and then I'm going to go ahead and since I have this already cut out too, I'm just going to go ahead and iron this one. I don't have another interfacing for my handle, so I can't press that, but I'll do that offline and come back. And then we will just do our interfacing for our dragonfly. This fabric, I just love this fabric. It's so pretty. Love the colors. So vibrant. I like the dragonflies too. But then we're just going to press this too. I hope you guys will make a bag and tag me in it and let me see what it looks like. I've been making these bags for probably 15 years, maybe even more. They started out with another, I bought a pattern from a Joann's, and it starts out a different way, but then I stopped doing all the pieces and just made it just one big piece. And I have given out so many of these bags, and my family, they love receiving these bags. They absolutely love it. So, all right, and then we are going to press this one, and then we're going to come back. We're going to end this video here after we get this all pressed, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to sew these bags together. We're going to, oh, I didn't do the lining, but the lining is done the same exact way. You're going to take some lining fabric, whatever it is, and you're going to cut it the same exact size as your ruler, or whatever size, 16 by 16, and then you're going to cut out the notches 2.5 inches. And so whatever lining that you have, if you have some muslin, if you have some other lining, doesn't matter. So you'll see my lining fabric when we come back in the next video. I forgot to do the lining, but the lining is done the exact same way. Except you do not fuse any interfacing to the lining. The lining is not fused. It doesn't have any interfacing. Only the bag outer parts have interfacing. But you will definitely see that in the next video. No interfacing for the lining. Like a lot of that fabric that you see me get on the remnants, and it's the like muslin looking fabric. A lot of times that's exactly what I use for my lining. So I hope that this video has been informative, and stay tuned for the next one when we put the whole entire bag together. So thank you for watching. Thanks for watching. Sorry this video was a little all over the place. I've been under the weather, but it's all good. It's all good. So thank you for watching. God bless you. You have an awesome and an amazing day. Don't forget to thumbs up the video and come back for the next part when we'll sew all the pieces together. God bless you. You have an awesome and an amazing day. Be blessed, my friends. Bye-bye.